In the recent Fix episode, Bogdan Stoica said something about Levan Saginashvili which would make you believe 1. Levan is no longer interested in arm wrestling. 2. He is scared of Vitaly Lalitin. Yes, you heard it right. But before we talk about that, let's talk about Leonidas Arcona. 150 kilos for 6 reps in the cheat bicep curl exercise, and he says new world record is coming. Is he talking about the strict curl world record, or is he talking about what he's doing in this video to beat Levan Saginashvili's cheat curl world record of 180 kilos? It could be either one of these two. The guy is extremely strong. And then this video where he's doing the exercise which tore Zaur Paizulaev's bicep. At first it looked like he's going to just stand up with the weight, but he even curls it towards the end. Amazing arm strength, and the pronation is holding well too. But what's even more interesting is what the caption says. Here is the translation. I have focused entirely on fingers and wrists over the past few weeks and months, as you know, and the leap, which is the progress, was enormous. Of course, I noticed that my pronation is lagging behind a bit. Not in this video. And that's why I'm starting to put more focus on it again now. I am sure, and these are no empty words, that I will present myself in a completely new version at my next match. So yes, the next match looks like it is already confirmed. Even though the version against Brian was already my best so far. There is only one way up. I want to storm the top 10. Keep pushing. So again, talking about entering the top 10 rankings on the right arm in the 115 kg division. And recently East vs West made a post asking who should be Matt Mask's next opponent. And the majority votes went to Leonidas Arcona. So are we going to see Leonidas versus Matt? Or are we going to see Andrei Smaev versus Leonidas Arcona? Because Smaev has also been posting some arm wrestling lifts lately. I would say more than before, more frequently than before. Devon Larratt's pronation exercise, 70 kilos for 10 reps. As amazing as it sounds on paper, I was still not too impressed with this lift because not the cleanest of forms that you would expect. Michael Todd is lifting way more than him in this lift. Even though Michael's form really sucks for a normal arm wrestler, for his style it's perfect. But even Michael would do 70 kilos for 10 reps better than what Smaev is doing. And I shouldn't really be saying that even Michael will do this and that because Michael has the highest pronation numbers in the world as of now. Doesn't matter whether you like his form or not, but he's lifting more than anyone else. And yet I expected Smaev to lift more than that or with a better form than that. And obviously, as expected, Devon Larratt is sharing Smaev's stuff. Devon believes that there is no way Smaev could be training that much for arm wrestling if he doesn't want to arm wrestle. And it kind of makes sense. Who would you like to see Leonidas go up against? Is it Matt Mask or is it Andrei Smaev? In the Fix episode, Neil Pickup asked the panel members who they would like to see Leonidas up against. Whether it should be an influencer, strength athlete or an actual arm wrestler. Neil believes that Leonidas has easily outgrown any kind of celebrity style arm wrestler. He needs some actual competition right now. And yes, it is correct. Since the guy is already thinking about entering top 10 rankings in the world, what kind of celebrity has a top 10 ranking in the world? So the potential opponents that were discussed were Brad Grundy, because Brad is really popular, he's really strong, a technical arm wrestler. He would provide a clear benchmark as to where Leonidas stands as of now. Stylistically, it's going to be interesting without being completely one-sided in favor of, obviously, Brad Grundy. Then Chance Shaw was also mentioned. Neil felt that Chance can be a lot more tricky in the setup. He can cause a lot more stylistic problems for Leonidas Arcona. That match will be harder to predict. Sandris Shedis, that is also one tough known test for Leonidas to see where he stands in the rankings. Then the name that I liked the most was Matej Varangi, Heta Morris. That will be an amazing match. Both are kind of defensive, open arm, top roll arm wrestlers. They can follow up with a press if they have to. I don't know in which direction it is going to go. I think in the center, they both are going to lose their wrist. They will be in an open top roll position, almost a double King's move position, and one will eventually get behind his shoulder and finish the match with a press. I would absolutely love to see that match. Not the match that most hardcore fans of arm wrestling would like to see, who like to see conventional arm wrestling, but it will be an amazing match. Then there was a super chat asking whether Hermes Gasparini has declined or not. Is he even as strong as he was during the first Levan Saginashvili match? Bogdan believes that after losing to Devon, or even after the first Levan match, Hermes became increasingly obsessed and possessed with rising and pronation training. But that's not what he needed to do. He made the first Levan match competitive because of his side pressure, because of his elbow integrity, his shoulder connection, and his defensive stopping power. So that's what Hermes should have focused more, because we don't really know if anyone can take Levan's hand and wrist or not. We don't even know if anyone's hand and wrist can survive against Levan or not. Devon's did in one round, but then he also got top rolled pretty easily. So instead of focusing more on pronation and hand and wrist, Hermes, as per Bogdan, should have focused on side pressure, elbow conditioning and arm strength. And that's what Bogdan thinks for Devon Larratt too. He believes that Devon also should focus more on his arm, because his hand is not really getting taken by Levan. It is his arm that is easily opening after Levan hits sideways. They talked about Gasparini's injury factor as well, because he heard something during the match and even before the match in his elbow while training for this match. Even small injuries can sometimes change your confidence, your setup, your execution, the way you perform on the table. Bogdan says that for him it is quite natural. Almost every match he hears something in his elbows. But for someone who has never heard that, it can be quite haunting. Since Rickard was also on the panel, he talked about Morozov calling him out, and he immediately said that he does not want that match as of now. But he does believe that in the future he will become the 115 kg champion. That will happen within the next 10 matches, and also the Morozov match may also happen within the next 10 matches. He has promised that. And the way the guy is improving at such an impressive rate, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it competitive against Morozov in the next few matches, but he has to stay massive for that. Because as of now, he's focused on Philip Larson. That will most likely be his next match, and I think it is going to be a good test. Philip is also a beast. The amount of ease that he beats guys like Matt Mask and some other arm wrestlers with is enough to tell me that his level is pretty high. Can Rickard deal with that? It is not going to be easy. That match will most likely happen in September in China. And then the Devon Larratt versus Levan Saginashvili talk. What does Devon need to improve on to beat Levan? We already discussed arm power, but Neil Pickup said something different. He believes that the key idea for Devon is to deny Levan the balance. Strength works best when balanced. Levan becomes unstoppable once he establishes balance. So the idea is to keep him off that balance. Devon must constantly force instability. Neil points out that in their first match, when Devon stopped the match, he stayed there for too long. Levan re-established position. I don't think he re-established position. He just went for a flop press. A little bit of side pressure to get Devon outside of his shoulder, followed with a flop. So what kind of position he re-established there, I'm not really sure about that. Tom Holland also believes that Devon needs more body weight, more side pressure, and he needs to attack Levan a little bit differently rather than just going for his hand and fingers. And then the main conversation that Bogdan had with Levan Saginashvili. That may surprise many people. Bogdan's question was, do you still enjoy arm wrestling? Are there any matches that excite you? And the answer was, to the first question, whether he still enjoys arm wrestling or not, a clear no. He doesn't enjoy arm wrestling anymore. And the reason for that, he is sick and tired of facing the same people repeatedly. Devon Larratt 2 times, Hermes Gasparini 2 times. Devon is coming up for a third rematch, which to be frank, Levan himself asked for December after seeing Devon beat Vitali, so how can he really blame anyone else for that? He wants the third Devon Larratt match for what he supposedly thinks is going to be an easy paycheck. But Levan is still interested about facing some new arm wrestlers, new challenges like Georgy Svetkov, Monster Michael Todd, Artyom Morozov. Bogdan repeatedly said that Levan did not take Vitali's name. Why wouldn't he? Because the entire world wants the Vitali match. There could be 2 reasons for that. Number 1, which is the most likely reason, Levan has already defeated Vitali back in 2019, I think it was. So he believes he has already defeated that guy once. He needs new opponents. But the world thinks that they both are not the same guys anymore. Vitali looks completely different. Levan is also much stronger, but more or less he weighs the same that he used to weigh back then. Back then he was 170, now he's 180. Not that much of a difference. Whereas Vitaly was 125 and now he's 145. So percentage wise, it's a massive difference for him. And the other reason, which is unlikely in my opinion, is that Levan is scared of Vitaly. Levan knows that he had to flop press Devon in the first round, and Vitaly did the same too. It's just that at that time, his arm power and endurance was not enough to sustain that kind of performance repeatedly over the next rounds. But he did absolutely beat Devon in the first round, just like Levan did. So realistically speaking, that match absolutely needs to happen, but it looks like Levan doesn't really want that match to happen. He wants to beat the few names that we just discussed and maybe retire, who knows. Neil also said that Levan versus Vitaly must happen. He thinks that this is the most important match available for Levan right now. And just to end things, Bogdan once again said that Levan did not seem excited about facing Vitaly at all. What are your thoughts about this? Please mention them in the comments. Like the video. I will see you again.